Why is it said that in old age, one should not visit old friends? Now, if you're watching this video, there's a very good chance you're in one of the most transformative phases of life, retirement. Maybe you've already retired, or perhaps you're counting down the days, eagerly anticipating the end of your 9-to-5 grind. Either way, you're about to embark on a new chapter, a chapter full of possibilities, freedom, and yes, some challenges too. One challenge that many retirees face is loneliness. After decades of working, socializing with coworkers, attending meetings, and following a set routine, it can feel a bit disorienting when you finally step out of that world. Suddenly, you have all this time, and you may find yourself sitting alone more often than you'd like. You might start thinking to yourself, I miss my friends. I miss the social buzz. It's completely natural, and you're not alone in feeling this way. However, here's something that might surprise you. If you're feeling lonely after retirement, one of the worst things you can do is rush back to visit your old friends. I know. That might sound strange, especially if you've always found comfort in the company of your friends. But hear me out. There's a reason why, despite all the great memories you've shared with them, constantly reaching out to old friends may actually be holding you back from fully embracing the exciting, fulfilling life that retirement has to offer. In today's video, we're going to talk about 7 reasons why, no matter how lonely you feel after retirement, you might want to think twice before visiting your friends. We'll explore the deeper psychological, emotional, and social aspects of retirement that most people overlook. The truth is, the post-retirement phase is one of the best opportunities you'll ever get to reinvent yourself, to find new passions, and to connect with new people who resonate with who you are today, not just who you were years ago. So, whether you're freshly retired or you've been enjoying your retirement for a while now, stick around. I promise you're about to learn something that might change how you approach this next phase of your life. Let's dive in. Reason 1. The danger of clinging to the past. Now let's talk about the first reason why visiting your old friends might not be the best idea after retirement: the danger of clinging to the past. When you're in the midst of retirement, it's very easy to feel like you're losing a part of yourself. For years, your identity may have been intertwined with your job, your daily routines, and the friendships you built in that work environment. It's completely normal to feel a bit disconnected when you leave that behind. The office gossip, the after-work drinks, the shared projects, they all become distant memories. And with all that change comes a natural impulse to want to go back. You might feel a strong pull to revisit old friends, to reconnect with those familiar faces, to recapture that sense of community and purpose you once had. But here's the thing. Clinging too tightly to the past can keep you stuck. It's easy to get caught in the idea that your best years are behind you. And by revisiting your old circle, you might inadvertently create an emotional loop where you're constantly trying to recreate your past self rather than evolve into the person you're meant to be now. Why is this a problem? It stifles personal growth. When you're always around the same people who knew you in one specific phase of your life, it can limit your personal development. You're not allowing yourself the space to grow into the new version of yourself that retirement offers. You're still the person you were at work, and not necessarily the person you are becoming in this new chapter. It keeps you in a comfort zone. Old friends often mean old conversations, familiar habits, and similar ways of thinking. While these friendships are undoubtedly valuable, they might prevent you from stepping out of your comfort zone. Retirement is the perfect opportunity to try new things, to explore hobbies and passions you never had the time for, and to meet people who are at a similar stage in life. This is when you can break free from the workday routine and create a new, fulfilling life. But if you keep revisiting the past, you risk staying emotionally stagnant. It can lead to nostalgia overdrive. It's easy to romanticize the past when you're feeling lonely. You might think that if you go back to those old friends, you'll find that sense of security and purpose again. The truth is, those relationships may no longer fulfill you in the same way. You might find yourself constantly comparing your past life with your present situation, which can deepen feelings of dissatisfaction. So, while it's tempting to call up your old colleagues or visit your longtime friends, be mindful. Living in the past is a barrier to fully embracing the present and the amazing new opportunities retirement offers. It's time to start focusing on who you can become rather than who you were. Reason 2. Reinventing yourself means creating new connections. Now, let's look at the second reason why visiting your old friends isn't always the best choice. Reinventing yourself means creating new connections. Retirement is a time of reinvention. It's a chance for you to explore who you are beyond your job title, your responsibilities, and the role you played in your community. For years, you may have been defined by your work, whether you were the go-to expert in your field, the mentor, or the team player. But now, with that chapter behind you, there's a golden opportunity to rewrite the story of your life. One of the best ways to do that is by forming new connections. And here's why visiting your old friends might hold you back. Old friendships can keep you stuck in the past. While your old friends may have been an essential part of your life during your working years, their presence may unintentionally anchor you to the life you had before retirement. This can create a psychological barrier to fully embracing the change that retirement brings. You might find it harder to develop new hobbies, try new activities, or pursue fresh interests when you're always wrapped up in conversations about the good old days. Instead, focus on meeting people who are in a similar stage of life. Whether it's through community classes, local events, or volunteering, connecting with others who are navigating the same post-career transition can be deeply fulfilling. These new connections will help you grow in ways you might not have imagined. Old friends may not understand your need for change. It's possible that your old friends are still wrapped up in their careers, or they may be at different stages of life. Their advice, guidance, or perspective may not resonate with where you are now. In fact, they might unintentionally discourage you from embracing new opportunities. Maybe they don't understand why you're suddenly passionate about painting, yoga, or traveling. They might even suggest you go back to what you were doing before. But your new friends, the ones you meet after retirement, are more likely to understand the changes you're going through and encourage you to embrace your new life with open arms. New connections bring new energy and ideas. Retirement doesn't have to mean retreating from social life. On the contrary, it's a great opportunity to explore new social circles. Surrounding yourself with people who share your current passions and interests can infuse your life with energy. Imagine attending a pottery class with someone who's just as excited about learning as you are, or going on a group hiking trip with people who are as eager as you to explore nature. These new relationships are rooted in your current identity, not in who you were in the past. They help you reinvent yourself and shape a life that's truly yours. The joy of shared experience. New friendships often grow out of shared experiences. When you visit old friends, the topics of conversation can quickly become repetitive. Remember that time we did this? Oh, and remember when we worked on that project? But with new people, your conversations can be full of discovery. Discovering their life stories, their insights, and their perspectives. You have the opportunity to create new memories and share new experiences together. These types of relationships have the potential to be even more fulfilling as they are based on the present, not the past. Fresh social circles make you feel vital. There's a certain kind of vitality that comes from meeting new people. It challenges you to step outside your comfort zone, to be vulnerable and open to new ideas. It keeps your mind sharp and your heart full. When you engage with new social circles, you create a dynamic, evolving social life that reflects the person you are today, not the person you used to be. Reason 3. You may become more isolated by revisiting old friendships. You might think that going back to your old friends will help you feel connected, reduce loneliness, and restore that sense of camaraderie you missed from your working years. But here's the truth. Visiting old friends too often can actually deepen your feelings of isolation. How is that possible? Let me explain. When you step into a friendship that was formed during your career, there's a strong chance you'll realize that things have changed. Perhaps you've changed, or maybe your friends have changed. But one thing is certain, you're no longer in the same stage of life. And that disconnect can create a more profound sense of loneliness than simply being alone in the first place. Here's how revisiting old friendships can inadvertently isolate you. You're no longer part of the same rhythm. For years, you and your friends were part of the same workplace, attending similar meetings, facing the same challenges, and sharing common goals. But now that you're retired, your life looks fundamentally different. You might not share the same daily grind, the same deadlines, or the same concerns. And guess what? That makes conversations harder. The topics that once brought you together, work, professional challenges, mutual colleagues, might no longer feel relevant to you. As a result, you may find that the friendship no longer offers the connection it once did. Instead of feeling uplifted, you might feel like an outsider, struggling to relate to what's going on in your old friends' lives. The conversation may become forced. There's nothing wrong with feeling the need to reconnect with old friends, but when those friendships no longer align with your current state of life, the conversation might feel forced or superficial. You might talk about old memories to fill the silence, but after a while, the past no longer feels fulfilling. This can leave you feeling even lonelier because instead of experiencing the joy of genuine, current conversations, you're revisiting memories that no longer hold the same emotional weight. You risk feeling like you're in limbo. Returning to your old friends often means stepping back into a world where you're still considered part of your previous role. Whether it's the office buddy, the always busy professional, or the social organizer. But now, those labels don't match who you are today. This creates a weird in-between feeling. You're not quite retired yet, but you're also no longer that professional you once were. That sense of limbo can lead to a deeper form of isolation. You're not yet a part of a new community of retirees, but you also no longer fully belong in your old friend group. It's a lonely space to be in. The disconnect can bring up old emotional wounds. Think about it. Every group of friends has its dynamics, and some of those dynamics can leave emotional scars. Maybe there were unresolved conflicts, unspoken tensions, or issues that were never addressed. When you revisit old friends, there's a chance those old feelings will resurface. Even though you've retired and moved on from your old job, emotional baggage can cling to you, and the last thing you need in retirement is to reopen wounds that prevent you from finding peace and emotional clarity. Instead of feeling more connected, you might find that you're reconnecting with a version of yourself that's no longer relevant to your current state. The result? More isolation. Reason 4, you deserve your own space and time for reflection. This next reason is a little more personal, but it's incredibly important. Retirement is the time when you deserve your own space and time for reflection. After decades of working, raising children, and living a life filled with constant demands and social obligations, retirement gives you the rare opportunity to stop, breathe, and just be. It's a chance to reconnect with yourself on a deeper level without the pressures of external obligations and the expectations of others. But here's the catch. Visiting your old friends constantly can get in the way of this valuable self-reflection time. Here's why. You've been defined by others for so long. For most of your life, your social interactions have been dictated by external factors, work schedules, family gatherings, and community events. Even friendships often came with a certain level of obligation. You had to be there for birthday parties, work happy hours, and the occasional group activity. After retirement, this is your time to step back from the world's demands and define your own life. It's the perfect time to ask yourself, what do I really want? What passions have you put on the back burner for too long? What new hobbies or interests can you explore now that you have time to invest in them? Spending too much time visiting old friends can take away from this crucial self-reflection process. Instead of asking yourself what you truly want, you may fall back into the old pattern of prioritizing others' needs over your own. Time alone can be enriching. Being alone doesn't mean being lonely. In fact, it's essential for emotional health and well-being. Time alone allows you to reconnect with yourself, whether it's through journaling, walking in nature, reading, or simply sitting in silence. These solitary moments allow you to process the changes in your life. Without the constant influence of others, you can reflect on your past experiences and look forward to the future with clarity and purpose. By spending time alone, you can think deeply about your retirement and the direction you want it to go in. You can explore new opportunities, read books that inspire you, or even take a class on something you've always wanted to learn. The key is, you are the priority now. When you spend too much time reconnecting with old friends, you risk becoming distracted from your own inner journey. Space for growth. Let's be real. Personal growth requires space. Not just physical space, but mental and emotional space. You need room to grow into the person you're becoming, and that can't happen if you're always in the company of people who knew you as your former self. Spending time on your own, away from the influence of old friendships, can help you tap into new possibilities and build a deeper understanding of who you are now, separate from your past identity. Remember, retirement is a fresh start. It's your chance to rebuild your life and design a new version of yourself. This doesn't mean you have to abandon your old friends, but it does mean you should allow yourself the space to explore who you are now without constantly being influenced by your past. Reason 5. Old friendships may reinforce old habits, preventing you from embracing new ones. One of the most subtle but impactful reasons why visiting old friends can hold you back after retirement is that old friendships can reinforce old habits. Now, think about it for a second. How much of your old self is tied to those friends? When you've known someone for a long time, they become a part of your routine, and so do the patterns of behavior and the way you spend your time together. These patterns, while comforting, can also prevent you from embracing new habits, new routines, and new perspectives. Retirement is a unique opportunity to break free from the old ways and start living life on your own terms. But it's easy to slip back into familiar routines when you reconnect with people who've been part of your previous life. Here's how old friendships may reinforce those old habits. You're tempted to return to old behaviors. If your old friends are used to hanging out at certain places, doing certain activities, or talking about the same things, like work or family drama, there's a high chance that you'll fall back into those old habits without even realizing it. You might find yourself eating at the same restaurants, talking about the same topics, or doing the same things you did before retirement. While there's nothing wrong with enjoying familiar comforts, constantly reverting to old routines can prevent you from discovering new interests or pursuing activities that better align with your current stage of life. Group dynamics can encourage stagnation. Even if you love your old friends, socializing with them can sometimes limit your growth. This is particularly true if you share long-established group dynamics. Think about the conversations you have with old friends. Are they often predictable, repetitive, and centered around the same issues? While these conversations might be comforting, they might not push you to explore new topics or engage in deep, meaningful discussions about your present and future life. If you want to cultivate new ideas and change, you need to expose yourself to different viewpoints, fresh experiences, and new social groups. Otherwise, you risk staying stuck in a social bubble that doesn't challenge you. The comfort zone effect. There's something very soothing about hanging out with people who already know you inside and out. You don't have to explain yourself, your past, or your choices. But this comfort zone can quickly become a trap. Old friendships, while reliable, can inadvertently keep you from stepping out of your comfort zone and trying new things. After retirement, you should embrace change, trying new hobbies, meeting new people, or even pursuing adventures you couldn't before. The more you stay in your familiar friend group, the more you risk keeping your life in a rut. You might avoid uncomfortable growth. Let's face it, growing can be uncomfortable. As you transition into retirement, you'll likely want to explore new aspects of yourself and your life. But old friends may unintentionally keep you anchored in who you used to be. For example, maybe you've always been the one who doesn't like to take risks. But in retirement, you might want to travel solo or start a new career or side project. Old friends who know you as risk-averse or as someone who prefers routine might unintentionally talk you out of trying something new, or they might even laugh at your ambitions, not realizing that you're trying to reinvent yourself. By connecting with new people who share your current interests and ambitions, you can break free from those old patterns. New friends will challenge you, encourage you to take risks, and help you embrace the changes that come with retirement. Don't let old friendships keep you anchored to old habits that no longer serve you. Reason 6. Revisiting old friendships can mask deeper emotional needs. Another critical reason why revisiting old friends after retirement might not be the most effective strategy is that it can mask deeper emotional needs that require your attention and growth. Retirement isn't just about changing your schedule and leaving your job behind. It's also an emotional transition. The sudden shift in identity, the loss of a routine, and the challenge of finding new purpose in life can stir up a lot of emotions. And while reaching out to old friends might seem like an easy fix, it doesn't address the deeper emotional and psychological needs that might arise during retirement. Here's why revisiting old friendships might not help in the long run. You're seeking comfort, not true connection. When you feel lonely or disconnected after retirement, your natural instinct may be to seek out what's familiar. Old friends can offer that sense of comfort, but this is often just a temporary fix. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a wound that needs real healing. Spending time with old friends might soothe the feeling of loneliness for a short time, but it doesn't actually address the deeper emotional shifts that are taking place. You may find that you still feel disconnected or even more isolated after spending time with people who are stuck in the past with you. You need new forms of emotional support. In retirement, you're facing a new reality that's different from what you've experienced before. The needs that you have now may be different from those of your working years. Perhaps you need to learn how to manage your time, find new ways to engage with your community, or even face deeper issues like loneliness or aging. Old friendships may not be equipped to provide the emotional support that you need for your current phase in life. You may find that your old friends don't understand the challenges of retirement or may not be able to offer the insights and support you're seeking. You may not be addressing underlying feelings of loss. Many retirees struggle with the sense of loss that comes with retirement. The loss of work identity, the loss of daily structure, and the loss of a purpose that work once provided can create a feeling of emotional emptiness. Instead of reaching out to old friends as a form of distraction, it might be better to sit with those feelings and explore what they mean for you. If you're only masking these emotions by surrounding yourself with the past, you might never truly process what retirement means to you. Embracing the reality of this transition and understanding how you want to move forward can lead to a deeper sense of fulfillment. Old friendships might unintentionally minimize your emotional changes. As we mentioned earlier, your old friends may be stuck in their own lives, still working or dealing with different concerns. They might not understand the full scope of what you're going through emotionally, and in some cases, their responses may even make you feel dismissed or invalidated. The last thing you need during this transitional period is for your emotional experiences to be minimized. Having friends who truly understand what you're going through and who are willing to listen without judgment is crucial. Instead of revisiting old friends, you might consider finding a new support system. Whether that's through retirement groups, therapy, or hobbies that help you reconnect with your emotions in a healthy way. The more you explore new, meaningful connections, the more you'll find the emotional support that's tailored to the changes you're undergoing. Reason 7. Retiring is your opportunity to redefine social connections. By now, we've talked about how revisiting old friendships can hold you back emotionally and prevent you from embracing the changes of retirement. But here's one final, compelling reason to be cautious about seeking out old friends after you retire. Retirement is your opportunity to redefine your social connections. In the past, you likely spent much of your life surrounded by colleagues, family, and friends with whom you shared specific roles: coworker, manager, parent, sibling, etc. Those roles often define the nature of the relationships you have with others. But when you retire, those roles fade away. Retirement gives you the freedom to step away from the identities you've carried for years and to shape your social circle according to who you are now, not who you were before. It's a chance to choose relationships that align with your current values, interests, and aspirations. Here's how old friendships might limit your ability to embrace this new phase. You might be clinging to old identities. After years of working, socializing with your colleagues or friends from the past might inadvertently drag you back into the who you used to be. You might still talk about work, reminisce about past experiences, or get caught up in conversations that don't reflect who you are now. This constant pull toward your old self can prevent you from embracing the more dynamic and multifaceted person you are becoming. If you want to grow, you need to form connections with people who see you as you are today, not as you were in the past. You need fresh perspectives to thrive in retirement. Old friendships can sometimes limit your growth because they carry the weight of past experiences and opinions. In retirement, you're at a crossroads. It's a time of personal exploration and self-discovery. You may want to try new hobbies, travel, or volunteer in ways that you've never considered before. The friendships you had before retirement might not align with those desires. You need to find people who share similar passions, interests, and aspirations for your new chapter. These new relationships will encourage you to step out of your comfort zone, learn new things, and truly enjoy the richness of your retirement. Building a new social circle. When you leave your workplace, you lose your daily social environment, and that void can be challenging to fill. But this doesn't mean you should automatically turn to old friends. Retirement is a chance to build a new social circle, one that reflects your new life stage and goals. This could involve joining clubs, attending local meetups, or engaging in new activities where you can meet people who are at a similar stage in life. You could become involved in community service, local projects, or explore new hobbies that bring you into contact with others who are redefining what retirement means to them. These relationships can help you feel more connected, valued, and inspired as you enter this new phase. You get to redefine your social needs. It's easy to assume that you'll need the same kinds of relationships you had when you were working, but retirement might change your social needs entirely. Maybe you're more interested in spending time with like-minded people who value intellectual conversations, or perhaps you're drawn to individuals who want to share experiences like hiking, traveling, or even creative pursuits. This freedom to curate your own social world is one of the most empowering aspects of retirement, and forming relationships with new people, rather than holding on to old friendships that may no longer serve you, allows you to create a fulfilling, supportive network that aligns with your new priorities and lifestyle. The opportunity to mentor or be mentored. Retirement doesn't mean stepping away from relationships entirely. It's a perfect time to both mentor younger generations and learn from those who are older than you. These types of relationships are often very different from the ones you had during your career. A mentor-mentee relationship can provide a sense of purpose and fulfillment. At the same time, being mentored by someone who's gone through similar life transitions can offer wisdom and guidance. Creating these kinds of connections helps you stay engaged with life and gives you something to look forward to. Conclusion: embrace new possibilities and take control of your retirement journey. As we've explored over the course of this video, retirement is an incredibly transformative time, a time to reflect, grow, and redefine your life. But it's also a time when old habits and old relationships can potentially hold you back from fully embracing the opportunities ahead of you. Visiting your old friends may seem like the natural choice when you feel lonely or disconnected, but as we've seen, this decision could end up isolating you more, reinforcing outdated patterns, and keeping you from stepping into the exciting future that awaits. Instead of seeking out your old friendships as a comfort or distraction, I encourage you to take this moment to embrace the power of new beginnings. Give yourself the time and space to reflect on who you are today, what you want from this new phase of life, and what kinds of relationships will help you grow. Building new friendships that align with your evolving identity and passions will not only help reduce feelings of loneliness, but will also give you a greater sense of purpose, fulfillment, and joy. In retirement, you have a blank slate. You get to write the next chapter of your life, and it's filled with endless possibilities. Seek out relationships that are as dynamic and evolving as you are. Embrace the freedom to explore new hobbies, travel, learn, and meet people who inspire you to be the best version of yourself. Remember, your retirement is your time to create the life you've always dreamed of. Don't let the past hold you back from experiencing the amazing future that's waiting for you. Take the first step into your new life with confidence and excitement.